Walk into any independent repair shop in America on a Monday morning and you'll see the same thing over and over. A tow truck drops off something with a check engine light that costs more to diagnose than most people's car payment. Meanwhile, out in the lot, a plain, unbothered vehicle just keeps starting every time, and nobody asks about it, because it isn't the car everyone talks about online. That's the contradiction sitting in used car lots across the country right now in 2026. The vehicles getting the most attention aren't always the ones that deserve it. The ones sitting quietly, marked down twice, are often the smarter buy for anyone who wants to drive something for the next decade without living at the dealership. After more than 2 decades around used vehicles, watching what comes back on a flatbed and what just keeps rolling past 150,000 miles without drama, I've built a short list. 5 cars that, if you skip them this year because they don't have the flashy badge, you're going to regret it. Not because they're perfect, nothing is, but because dollar for dollar, they do something most shoppers completely miss. Today, I'm counting down 5 used vehicles that deserve way more respect than the market gives them in 2026. Why the market ignores each one, what's happening under the hood, a real story from someone who bought one instead of the obvious choice, a fair price range, an inspection checklist, and who should buy versus who should walk away. Let's start at number 5. Number 5 is the 2015 to 2019 Buick Regal, specifically the naturally aspirated 4-cylinder or the milder turbo variants. Say Buick to most people under 50 and you'll get a laugh. The badge still carries a reputation from decades ago, and buyers under 40 walk right past it. But here's what mechanics know that shoppers don't. GM quietly improved these mid-size sedans, and because almost nobody wants one, they depreciate faster than almost anything else on the lot. That's where the opportunity lives. A retired school teacher came in looking at a used Camry with over 90,000 miles, priced close to $16,000. I showed her a Regal with similar mileage and cleaner records for a few thousand less. A year and a half later, she'd spent nothing beyond an oil change, a cabin filter, and 1 set of tires. Mechanically, the appeal is simplicity. The naturally aspirated 4 avoids the heat stress of smaller turbo units in some competitors, and the transmission is a conventional 6-speed, not a fragile dual-clutch setup. Parts are shared across GM platforms, so labor and part costs tend to run lower than you'd expect for something this upscale inside. Compare it to a similarly aged Camry or Accord, and the Regal often lists for $1,000 to $2,000 less with comparable mileage, since resale demand for the badge is weaker. In many markets, a clean example runs around $9,000 to $13,000, depending on trim, condition, and regional demand. Before buying, get an inspection. Listen for a cold start rattle, pointing to exhaust manifold or timing chain tensioner wear. Check transmission fluid condition rather than trusting mileage alone. Inspect for valve cover leaks, a known wear item, and pull the service history, because a neglected Buick can be a worse buy than a well-maintained Hyundai or Mazda. The badge tells you little. The paperwork tells you almost everything. Who should buy it? Someone who wants a quiet, well-equipped sedan and doesn't care what anyone thinks pulling into the lot. Who should skip it? If resale value in 3 years matters more than upfront savings, stretch for a Camry or Accord instead. The only reason this car is cheap is that the market still judges it by a name from 30 years ago. Mechanically, it isn't a compromise at all. But if you think that one's overlooked, the next pick is even more misunderstood. Number 4 is the 2017 to 2021 Nissan Frontier, specifically the 4.0-liter V6 Crew Cab. If you only listened to internet forums, you'd think there were exactly 2 trucks worth owning in America, the Tacoma and the F-150. Everyone chases those 2, prices stay inflated, and a genuinely tough mid-size truck sits quietly in the back row because it hasn't been refreshed in years. That lack of a redesign is the whole story. Nissan built essentially the same drivetrain for over a decade, which sounds bad for marketing but is great for reliability data, because shops have seen thousands of these motors and know exactly what does and doesn't fail. The 4.0-liter V6 is naturally aspirated, uses a timing chain rather than a belt, and skips the complicated turbocharging or cylinder deactivation systems found in newer competitor engines. It isn't exciting on paper, but boring and predictable is exactly what you want when buying used. A self-employed contractor came in, ready to spend close to $29,000 on a used Tacoma with around 60,000 miles. I walked him over to a Frontier with similar mileage for several thousand less. 2 years and 30,000 work miles later, he'd replaced brakes, done routine oil changes, and swapped a battery. That's it. Compare it to a similarly equipped Tacoma, and the Frontier typically runs $2,000 to $5,000 lower for comparable mileage and trim, since buyers assume Toyota automatically means better without checking actual maintenance data. In many markets, a clean crew cab V6 Frontier runs around $18,000 to $24,000, depending on trim, region, and condition. Check these points before buying. Inspect the frame for rust, especially from northern salt road states. Check for cold start rattle, though this generation is quieter than earlier Frontiers. Look underneath for off-road abuse, like a bent skid plate. Verify the transmission fluid has been serviced, and pull the maintenance records. If this kind of honest used vehicle advice is useful, hit subscribe. There's more coming on the vehicles dealers love to upsell you into, and the ones that actually deserve your money. Who should buy this truck? Someone who needs real towing and hauling capability without spending Tacoma money, and who values proven mechanicals over trendy styling. Who should skip it? If resale value and instant name recognition matter more than what you save today, pay the Tacoma premium instead. Dealers may not get excited showing you a Frontier. Your bank account will be. That was a solid, practical pick. Number 3 is the one longtime mechanics quietly argue is one of the best-kept secrets on used lots today. Number 3 is the 2016 to 2020 Chevrolet Equinox, specifically models with the 2.4-liter naturally aspirated 4, not the smaller turbocharged 1.5-liter used later. This compact SUV gets buried under the shadow of the RAV4 and CR-V. Everyone assumes those two are automatically the safer buy, which is why their prices stay stubbornly high even with high mileage. Meanwhile, the Equinox from these years sits there, priced thousands less, dismissed simply because it wears a Chevy badge. Nobody brags about buying one at a barbecue, but plenty of people quietly drive one for a decade without issue. A young family came in looking at a used RAV4 priced around $21,000 with about 70,000 miles. Their budget was tight after a recent move. I showed them a 2.4-liter Equinox with similar mileage for roughly $16,500. 18 months later, their only unexpected repair was a wheel bearing, costing less than a single car payment. Mechanically, the 2.4-liter engine in these years is a straightforward, naturally aspirated unit with a timing chain paired with a conventional 6-speed automatic. It doesn't have the small displacement turbo stress that some rival engines deal with, and parts availability through GM's massive dealer network keeps repair costs reasonable. That said, I'll be honest about a known weak point. Some of these engines can consume oil at higher mileage, so checking oil level history and asking about consumption is genuinely important, not optional. Compared to a similarly aged RAV4, the Equinox often runs $3,000 to $5,000 lower for comparable mileage, largely due to brand perception rather than any dramatic reliability gap in data from RepairPal or long-term owner forums. In many markets, a clean 2.4-liter Equinox runs around $13,000 to $17,000, depending on trim, mileage, and service history. Before buying, check oil consumption history and any documented top-offs between changes. Inspect for coolant leaks around the intake manifold gasket, a known issue on this generation. Check suspension bushings and tire wear for alignment problems, and verify no open recalls through the NHTSA database. Who should buy it? A budget-conscious family who wants a roomy compact SUV and doesn't mind keeping an eye on oil levels. Who should skip it? If you can't be bothered checking a dipstick every few thousand miles, or resale is your top priority, the RAV4 Premium might be worth it for you. The market keeps punishing this SUV for its badge instead of judging it by what happens on the lift. Number 2 is good. Number 1 is the one I would personally buy with my own money, so stay with me here. Number 2 is the 2018 to 2022 Kia Sorento, specifically versions with the naturally aspirated V6 rather than the turbocharged 4. A decade ago, recommending a Kia would have gotten raised eyebrows, and that old reputation still lingers, even though the company transformed its build quality and warranty coverage since. Buyers still associate the badge with cheap economy cars from 20 years back, keeping prices artificially low on genuinely well-built three-row SUVs. A retired couple came in, cross-shopping a used Highlander priced close to $27,000 against a Sorento with similar mileage for around $21,000. They almost walked away from the Sorento purely out of brand hesitation. 2 years later, their only expenses beyond routine maintenance were a set of tires and a cabin air filter. Mechanically, the V6 in these years is a genuinely solid, naturally aspirated engine without the added complexity and long-term carbon buildup concerns that direct injection turbo 4s can develop. It's paired with a conventional automatic transmission rather than anything exotic, and Kia's extended powertrain warranty coverage on these model years means many used examples still carry meaningful factory coverage remaining, which is something a used Highlander at the same price point typically won't offer anymore. Compared to a similarly configured Highlander or Pilot, the Sorento often runs $4,000 to $7,000 lower for comparable mileage and equipment, almost entirely due to brand perception rather than a measurable reliability gap, per Consumer Reports and iSeeCars data. In many markets, a clean V6 Sorento runs around $17,000 to $23,000, depending on trim, region, and remaining warranty. Ask for documentation showing remaining powertrain warranty, since it can transfer to you and adds real value. Inspect the timing chain for cold start rattle. Check infotainment electronics for glitches, and look underneath for accident repair signs. Verify service records show timely fluid changes. Who should buy it? A family that needs 3 rows and wants remaining factory warranty without paying Toyota or Honda prices. Who should skip it? If you plan to keep it past 200,000 miles and want the best long-term parts network and resale value, a Highlander might still edge it out. Mechanically, this SUV is not a compromise. The only compromise is explaining why you didn't just buy the Highlander everyone else has. And this last one is the entire reason I wanted to make this video. Number 1 is the 2016 to 2020 Honda Ridgeline. If you know trucks, you know why people argue about this one. It doesn't look like a traditional body-on-frame pickup. It uses a unibody platform shared loosely with the Pilot, and hardcore truck enthusiasts online treat that as a disqualifying flaw. That online noise has tanked resale interest, even though the actual ownership experience tells a different story. This is the one I would put my own father in without a second thought. A retired postal worker who needed something to haul yard equipment was set on a used F-150 priced around $32,000 with 55,000 miles. He didn't need serious towing capacity or a lifted truck for job sites. I showed him a Ridgeline with similar mileage for about $23,000. 3 years later, his total repair bill beyond routine maintenance was 1 set of brake pads and a battery. Mechanically, this is where the Ridgeline earns its spot at number 1. It uses Honda's well-proven V6, the same engine family found in the Pilot and Odyssey, with millions of miles of real-world data behind it. No turbocharger, no complicated cylinder deactivation drama, and a conventional automatic transmission rather than anything fragile. The unibody construction that truck purists mock actually gives it a smoother, quieter ride and better fuel economy than traditional body-on-frame trucks, while still handling a legitimate payload for owners who never tow anything heavier than a small trailer. Compared to a similarly aged F-150 or Silverado, the Ridgeline often runs $6,000 to $10,000 lower for comparable mileage, purely because it doesn't fit the mental image of a real truck. In many markets, a clean Ridgeline runs around $20,000 to $26,000, depending on trim, region, and condition. Inspect the composite bed for cracking, usually cosmetic. Check transmission fluid condition and service intervals. Listen for unusual all-wheel drive noise and have it tested specifically. Check for valve cover leaks, and as with every vehicle here, get an independent pre-purchase inspection, since a neglected Ridgeline can be a worse buy than a well-maintained pick from anywhere else on this list. Who should buy it? Someone who wants genuine truck utility for yard work and light towing, combined with SUV-level comfort, and who doesn't care about impressing anyone at the gas station. Who should skip it? If you regularly tow a heavy trailer or need serious off-road capability, this isn't your truck, and an F-150 or Tacoma will serve you better. This is the vehicle I recommend more than almost any other when someone asks me what to buy and keep for the next 10 years without drama. So there it is, 5 vehicles the market keeps overlooking, but mechanics quietly respect. The Regal is the budget sleeper nobody expects. The Frontier is proven, unglamorous toughness. The Equinox is the smart middle ground for budget-watching families. The Sorento is the warranty-backed value play. And the Ridgeline is the one I'd buy and keep without hesitation. Before you buy any used vehicle, get a proper pre-purchase inspection, pull the actual service records, and don't fall in love with a badge before the hood's even open. Prices vary by region, mileage, and history, so treat these ranges as a starting point, not a guarantee. If this straight talk helped, like the video, subscribe for more honest used car advice, and I'll see you in the next one.